Okay, so when you write our sales copy,
Yes, ma'am.
and say we're selling, we just did our copywriting pages on how to sell stuff. Tell me from start to finish, like I say write a copywriting sales page.
Okay.
What are the steps that you take to like kick me out a sales page at the end of it?
Awesome that you would ask me this. Okay, she knows that I really struggle to put into words what my process is. I do so much of what I do because I just do it. It's just like second nature to me. So she's making me have to think. All right, so the very first thing I do.
And it doesn't matter. No, if it's very bizarre, I still want to know it.
Okay. And I don't know if it's bizarre or not. Okay, so the first thing, we decide we're going to write copy about something. You tell me, put copy together for us for this. The very first thing I do is I go to the Google and I do a search for other people who have done similar to what we're doing. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to see on those first results that pull up, the pages that are getting the highest number of hits or that come up first, what is it about those pages that is interesting? How have they explained whatever it is in a way that people are responding well to it? Because I don't know those other people to be able to go and ask them what has worked for you. So the only way I can determine what's working for other people is to research it on Google. So I might spend half an hour to an hour just looking at other people's pages to see what I like, what I don't like, what am I responding to, what feels good to me about what I'm seeing on the page, and then I'll pull 5 or 7 of those key elements that I run across. I'll make a little note for myself that, oh, I liked this in the headline. I liked that it had bullet points here. I liked that it was worded like this. I liked that there was a time frame on, or whatever the 5 or 7 really key things that stand out to me are.
And you're not copying?
No, I'm not copying. I'm just making notes about things that I liked about what other people have done. And then I'll open my Word document and I'll start putting in the different pieces that I want and pulling the information we need to share. When we're doing an event, like we've got some services that we're offering on our mnmmonsters.com site, and when I was putting that information together, the pieces that were mine, I knew what I was selling, I knew what I was doing, so it was very easy for me to explain it. Stuff that was hers was a little harder for me. I had to look at what she's doing and then figure out as a consumer, if I wanted to hire her for that, how did it needed to be worded to me that I would know what she was talking about, so I would want to buy that.
There's a lot of times when I write it, it's hard to understand what I'm talking about.
Well, and it's really important because as business owners, we are so close to our own thing and we understand our own baby so well that we forget that other people have no clue what we're doing. We know all of the behind the scenes stuff, but our customer doesn't have all of that information. So we need to be able to step back 30 feet and look at it from somebody who knows nothing about our business, and what would be the words that would give them enough information that they would know enough about what we were doing that they would be able to make a decision whether they wanted to attend or buy from us or whatever they wanted to do. Once I've got all of those pieces in place, then I put it together on the sheet and I decide, do I like the way it looks? I know that sounds so stupid, but do I like the way it looks? Because if I don't like the way it looks, I can guarantee you nobody else. I'm very ADHD. If I can't stay connected to my own page, you guys aren't going to stay connected to my page. You know what I'm saying? So once I have decided if I like the layout of it or not, then I will go back and I will decide which pieces do I need to make a bold font, which pieces need to be italicized. Am I going to use a check mark bullet point? Am I going to use a number bullet point? What does this piece, from what I'm trying to sell here, what does this piece call for? A lot of times I will see if I can find facts to support what I'm trying to say, like other people's success stories. A lot of times I have my own testimonials of things I've done for people that have worked really well for them. And when it's appropriate in the copy, I will plug in a testimonial here or there as well. I leave the graphics and stuff like that to her because she does amazing, just amazing. I cannot do what she can do, so I let her figure all that stuff out. But when I send it to her, I may, if I'm picturing a specific image I want somewhere or a specific link that I want put in there, I will highlight it in little brackets and say, put an image like this here, or it should go to this link here, or whatever, and then she does the final proof of it and adds all the pieces that she can.
I think that's a huge point, you guys. I found a buddy who does what I don't do well. So if you guys want to, first off, I truly think that if you don't have Rebecca, I would be thrilled to pay, and I do pay her sometimes when it's for my business, my other part of my business. I just pay her $100 and I tell her to write the stuff for it. It's so much more worth it to me than trying to figure all that crap out myself. Second off, you may want to get a buddy, and even if it's not somebody in your industry, or if it's in your industry, like Cheryl's really good at graphics, she may find somebody in the room or who's a friend who's really good at writing, and you guys could trade. I mean, that's something that you could really do. I think that I could spend the rest of my life trying to learn empathy and trying to learn why I should care that you be happy you buy my stuff. Yeah, right? But that I would still be just a faux, you know, I'd just be shining you on, where she actually has that skill set. So I think that's really important. So
Okay.
I have a friend.
You do have a friend, and two things I will add to that. If your sales copy is about yourself, if what you're selling is you,
Oh, you can't do it.
you cannot write your own sales copy. And the reason for that is because you do not see yourself or your gifts the way that other people see you and your gifts. So if you need to write a speaker bio or something like that, I hope you have a buddy you can trust to do that for you, that sees you in your best light. If not, put together a list of basic facts you want to convey and ship it off to someone else. But you cannot write about yourself, number one. Number two, this is my pet peeve. I do have,
Is it with me?
No,
Okay.
no, not at all. I have one little person in particular, but I have some people that I work with from time to time that for some reason have it in their head that it takes 15 minutes to write a sales page. It does not take 15 minutes to write a sales page. Let me just be very clear about that. Even if I know what I'm talking about, it doesn't take 15 minutes. It's a process, people. It takes time. If you want good sales copy, then you need to allow the person to have time to put that together for you. So please, please, please do not ask your sales copy people to have it ready in 15 minutes. Give them at least a day to put it together for you. That's all I got to say.
Well, I'll tell you, when I write sales copy or when I'm doing a piece for my business, I have learned that it's at least 4 hours. Okay?
Easily.
You need to block out, that's my business, and I know exactly everything about it. So, and I've done it 200 times. So if you haven't done it 200 times, then I might, if I was you guys, say 2 days you're gonna do 4 hours, and you need to block it out, and you need to make sure that you're not doing a darn other thing during it, because you just can't.
And I will very rarely ever send her the sales copy as soon as I've finished writing it. Typically I write it, sleep on it, go back the next day and see if it needs to be different. Because a lot of times by the time I get to the end of that 4 hours, I have made changes in my head that haven't necessarily translated onto the paper. Like I've got this whole thing going on over here that may or may not have actually made it to the page. So, and I think I did that to you the other day. I sent you a sales copy and I hadn't slept on it.
Don't use that one.
I had to go back and say, please don't use that copy, use this one instead. But if I don't take that little space to kind of rest my brain and then go look at it later, then I might miss some important things that need to be fixed before that gets shared with the public. So definitely allow yourself the time for that, right?